Assalamualaikum, we are from Group 10 going to present about Chapter A Motivation. This case study explores three critical aspects of motivation through compensation. The administration of complex pay structures. How can HR administer a complex pay structure that rewards pay increase on a regular basis? Generational difference in motivation, particularly the preference of younger employees for frequent pay increase. Why are younger employees more likely to be motivated by every regular pay increase than older workers? And the potential drawbacks of government-imposed minimum living wage. In some countries, a national minimum wage or a living wage has been set by the government. What are the drawbacks of such an approach to dealing with low pay? Each of these topics show how different employees have different needs and how HR need to be flexible in handling pay. Younger workers often look to quick rewards and regular recognition through pay raise, while other workers may care more about job stability and finding meaning in their works.
Okay, now we go to the first question. How can HR administer a complex pay structure that reward pay increase on a regular basis? The first one is audit and regular review of the pay structure is a critical process to maintain a fair, transparent, and competitive reward system. It should be conducted at least once a year or immediately following any major organization change or shift in the labor market. The main goals are to identify salaries disparities across department or individual, ensure compliance with labor law, and evaluate both internal equity and external competitiveness. This process involves analyzing salaries data by job grade, pay increase, and performance links, as well as comparing with industry benchmark. The finding guide necessary adjustment to close pay gaps, enhance transparency, and strengthen the link between performance and rewards. Ultimately, a well-executed audit helps improve employee morale, reduce turnover, support talent retention, and align the compensation strategy with the organization's long-term objective. Okay, now we go to the next point is job sharing. Job sharing is a human resource strategy where two or more employees share the responsibilities and working hours of one position, typically on a part-time basis. In a complex pay structure, this arrangement requires a flexible and fair compensation system. HR must ensure that salaries, pay raise, and benefits are calculate proportional based on the actual time work and individual contribution. Performance evaluation must be conducted objectively, considering both the scope of work and years of service, regardless of whether the employee is full-time or part-time. Other benefits such as bonus, leave entitlements, and incentives should also be fairly distributed to avoid disparities between full-time and job-sharing employees. A well-designed and inclusive reward system helps promote fairness, transparency, and employee satisfaction. It also encourages motivation, stretch, and commitment, and support talent retention. To maintain effective, the pay structure must be regularly reviewed and updated to meet the changing needs of employee and the organization. Overall, successful job sharing management in a complex pay scheme require a responsive and equitable HR strategy that align with long-term organization goals while maintaining fairness and performance-based reward.
Next, leverage technology. Technology has evolved in HR, changing the way human resource management works. Technology has transformed HR from paper-based system to efficient digital process, cloud access, and tools like chatbot have boosted productivity. Without technology, HR would be outdated and ineffective. Technology plays a critical role in human resource management, especially in administering a complex pay structure that rewards regular salary increase. One of the key strategies that HR departments can adopt is to leverage technology to ensure efficiency, transparency, and alignment with the organization's strategic goal. Technology in HR compensation reduce human error, improve data accuracy, and support strategic decision with real-time data. It also enhances transparency, allowing employees to understand pay change and access personalized compensation information. Then performance monitoring has become easier with integrated systems that provide real-time data, allowing for accurate and objective evaluation. This helps reduce error and support fair compensation decision. Next, openness concerning salary information. Employees today have access to records that show their salaries, performance assessment, and whether they can receive a raise in the future. This kind of openness promotes trust within the organization and improve management relations as employees have better access to information. Lastly, responsive employee-driven change. Engagement technology enable organization to collect employee feedback on compensation, helping HR assess satisfaction and identify improvement. It remains relevant and responsive to employee needs. In summary, using technology to manage complicated pay structure, enhance human resource effectiveness, strengthens with the organization culture. It helps build to a responsive pay structure that motivate employee and drive business success.
My name is Nur Alia Sofia binti Muhammad Adnan, S75037. Today, I will explain why younger employees are more motivated by regular pay increase compared to older workers. This is not just matter of age or personal preference. It's actually connected to physiology, financial pressure, and generational culture. So, let's explore this topic through various motivational theories. Okay. Core motivation differences. Most younger employees are in the early stage of their career. At this point, they are focused on building financial stability and professional identity. Regular pay raises are more than just extra money. For them, receive a pay raise signal that their hard work is being recognized. How motivation theories explain this? First, Maslow's hierarchy of need help us understand this behavior. Younger employees are focused on safety nets such as income stable, like feeling value and respect. Second, Hasbert's two-factor theory also add this explanation. It suggests that for other employees, salary become hiding factor prevent, but it no longer actually as motivator. So while other employees appreciate raise, these are not what keep them engaged. 3. Self-determination theory further explain that younger workers feel motivated when they experience competence. Pay increase provide a clear signal that they are doing well and progressing. Okay, the role of generation value. We also need to consider how different generation varies. Millennials and Gen Z grew up in environment where instant feedback was the norm. School grading adds to social media. This influenced the expectation in the workplace. They expect recognized and frequent feedback, and pay increase serve that purpose. On the other hand, older generation like Gen Z grew up in a work culture that value loyalty, patterns, and slow but steady progress. Financial pressure and real world needs. There are also work economy factors. Many younger employees are dealing with heavy student loans, expensive housing, and rising living costs. A raise can help relieve the pressure for them. Regular pay increase are just not necessary for financial survival and peace of mind. Implication for management. So what does this mean for organization? It means that HR and management need to design pay strategy that reflect these generational needs. Younger employers respond best to regular performance based on increase they provide and financial relief. Older employees, on the other hand, may stay more engaged when they are given meaningful role, leadership opportunities, or a sense of purpose. By understanding the motivational difference between age group, organizations can better retain their talent and keep both younger and older employees engaged and productive.
Next, generational difference in work motivations. When we look at how different generations are motivated at work, we can clearly see that older and younger employees prioritize different things. For instance, older generation like baby boomer and Generation X tend to value job security, long-term satisfaction, and a healthy work-life balance. On the other hand, younger generation, particularly millennials and Gen Z, are more focused on immediate reward, frequent feedback, and opportunities for fast career as work investment. This is largely because younger employees often face high financial pressure, such as student and loans and rising living costs, which make regular pay increase not a reward but a necessity. Also, growing up in a digital world followed with instant feedback, these younger employees expect the same level of recognition at work. In contrast, older employees are more motivated by deeper, intrinsic value like purpose, job stability, and being able to contribute meaningfully to the organization. Next, management strategies and motivation theories. To effectively motivate a multi-generation workforce, manager needs to use different strategies for different age group. Younger employees respond best to timely reward, career growth, opportunities, and direct feedback. While older employees are more motivated by meaningful work, long-term stability, and intrinsic reward. It is important to avoid a one-size-fits approach because it may disengage either group. Understanding this difference allows leaders to match reward with what each generation values most. These motivational trends are also supported by well-known theories such as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Herzberg's two-factor theories, and self-determination theory. For example, where pay increase are a major motivator for younger workers trying to establish financial security, or older employees place more value on non-financial recognition like respect, trust, and having a voice in decision making. When managers recognize and respond to these generational needs, they create a more inclusive and motivated workplace for everyone. Next, financial motivation among younger employees. Younger employees today face higher financial stress like student loan, rising costs, and little saving. This makes financial reward a key motivator. Over 70% of workers under 30 say pay is more important than recognition or career growth. Frequent pay raises help reduce anxiety and support their living standard. Many live paycheck to paycheck, making regular income crucial. Gen Z value fast financial progress and wants reward likes to performance merit-based by boost motivation by connecting effort with recognition. Programs like bonus and profit sharing attracts a retain young talent. These incentives support both their financial needs and job satisfaction. Clearly, financial rewards are incentives for engaged to the younger workforce.
Assalamualaikum and a good day. My name is Nur Aiwahida binti Muhammad Day. My matric number is S76867. I will be presenting my assignment titled The Drawbacks of Government Set Minimum Wage of Living Wage in Addressing Low Pay. A living wage is commercially defined as a level of income that allows workers not only to meet their basic needs but also to participate meaningfully in society through reaction, supporting a family, and saving for the future. This concept is embedded in international standards such as the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights and the European Social Charter, which highlight the right of workers to fair and adequate pay. However, while the idea of a living wage is noble, its implementation by governments through national minimum wage policy brings several drawbacks. One of the main criticisms lies in its impact on the labor market, particularly in terms of employment levels. A study by Odum Hing and Nashan Deng in 2022 found that in the minimum wage significantly correlated with a decrease in youth employment. Specifically, a 10% increase in minimum wage lead to a 1.3% employment and 1.5% among teenage girls. This shows that policies intended to raise the income of low-wage workers can actually become a barrier for them to get or keep a job, especially those who are inexperienced. In addition, basic economic theory states that when the price of labor, that is wage, goes up, the demand for labor tends to go down. Employers may not be willing to hire more workers or may reduce their workforce to cope with rising wage costs. Lastly, the capabilities approach by Amartya Sen reminds us that wage discussions should go beyond economic cost-benefit analysis. Factors such as personal freedom, life balance, and the quality of work and private life are all interconnected and should be considered when evaluating policies like the living wage. In conclusion, while the living wage is morally appealing concept, its implementation needs to be carefully evaluated. If not managed well, it could harm employment opportunities and destabilize the labor market. That's all for me. Thank you.
Next, minimum wages can negatively impact employee motivation and performance within an organization. When employees receive low pay that isn't enough to meet their basic needs, such as food, housing, and transportation, which directly affect their motivation. According to Hasbert two-factor theory, wages are considered a hygiene factor, which is increasing. Pay may not always boost their motivation, but can cause dissatisfaction. To cope financially, they are forced to work overtime or take on additional jobs, reducing their autonomy and increasing stress. The job characteristic model suggests that autonomy is a key factor in employee satisfaction and performance. Low wages also lead to poor job performance, as employees may only do the bare minimum to keep their jobs. This affects overall productivity and morale across the organization. As discussed, employees who feel underpaid often look for better paying jobs elsewhere. This can increase turnover rates and cause organization to lose experienced workers. In the long run, the organization will suffer more than it saves. Last but not least, low pay and lack of incentive can hurt employee motivation and career growth. When employees feel their pay doesn't match with their efforts, they start to lose interest in improving themselves. According to the experiential theory, people are more motivated when they believe their hard work will lead to rewards, but if the rewards are small or unclear, motivation will be dropped. Also, when companies don't offer clear career path or development opportunities, employees will feel stuck. Goal-setting theory tells us that clear goals can keep people to focus, but without direction, they will lose drive. Finally, it's not just about money. Based on Hasbert theory, non-financial reward like recognition, training, and support are just as important for long-term motivation. In short, to keep employees motivated, companies need to offer pay, growth opportunities, and proper support. In conclusion, frequent pay raise can be an effective way to boost employee motivation, engagement, and performance. When employees feel recognized and fairly rewarded, their morale tends to improve. Some companies use monthly or performance to keep staff focused and enthusiastic. However, managing such a system can be challenging. HR must ensure fair pay structure and regularly evaluate their performance. Younger workers may appreciate quick rewards, while experienced workers often value job security and long-term benefits. On a broader level, some countries use minimum wage or living wage law to combat low income, but this can also add financial pressure on companies and don't always improve motivation. So while frequent raises are helpful, they must be supported by strong internal system and fair management to truly benefit both employees and the organization in the long run. That's all from us. Thank you.